If you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to be able to understand the entrepreneurial mindset from a much deeper perspective. How does the business work? How does it operate? What are the challenges like? You really need to get involved and get in there. And today we're going to talk about how to develop your entrepreneurial mindset. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new content we post. Think in an executive way. Who are the competitors? What are they doing? What does the future of the organization look like? What products and services are your company thinking about? Look at the challenges you're trying to overcome. Look at the hurdles that might exist in the organization and really get that executive, that managerial perspective, that management mindset, almost as if you were running the business. So, imagine that the company that you're a part of is the company that you own. Think about the things you would need to know. You would have a much deeper understanding of the business than simply saying, oh, this is what we do. This is who our competitors are. So don't just look at the company from a surface level. You actually have to go deep. And the real reason you want to go deep is because you are trying to come up with ideas that will change the organization. You're trying to come up with ideas that will improve how the company operates. Now, it's true, might be simple, like how to better improve meetings, but some of these ideas might also be big, like a new product or service that you think the company should be focusing on. But you really can't come up with these solutions until you understand the business. And when you do that, when you pitch your idea, you will be able to already foresee what potential rejections might be. You will already be able to foresee the potential opportunities, the impacts that your ideas might have. But if you just focus on the surface level, you might just constantly come up with different ideas, and the people that you're presenting it to are just going to say, man, you really don't understand the business. That could never work here. You want to make sure you don't get that kind of response. If you understand the business, that will not happen. Thankfully, there are a couple easy steps that you can take to truly understand the entrepreneurial mindset. The first one is very simple. Just network. Talk to people inside of your company. Talk to people outside of the company. It doesn't mean that you're doing this for 5 hours a day, but just make sure to have conversations. If you're able to grab coffee with your manager, grab a coffee with them. Talk to them a little bit. Ask them about the future of the organization. Ask them about the challenges that they're faced with. Try to get in their heads a little bit and see things from their perspective. Talk to employees in other parts of the company. If you're in marketing, maybe you want to talk to some people who are in the developmental sector or the customer experience sector. Really get a sense of what different people are working on, the challenges that they're faced with. That will give you a very good, solid, big picture of the organization. So again, the first step is just networking. Talk to people inside and outside of the company. Spend time with employees in different roles, different functions, different seniority levels, and get a really good sense of the big picture. Speak to people in senior levels. The second thing is part of networking actually, and it's really making sure that you spend time with the managers and the leaders inside of your company. And again, it doesn't just mean that it has to be your direct manager or leader. It could be managers or leaders in other respective functions. It could even be a manager or leader at another company, but one that's maybe in a similar or related space. And again, the reason why you want to talk to these people is because typically they either have access to information that you might not have, they've been in the industry longer than you have, and they themselves are very networked. And so you want to kind of tap into that intelligence that they might possess, because they will really help frame your perspective on things for the future, and they will really help guide any potential ideas that you might have. So, if you understand the manager's perspective around where they want to take the business, where they might take the team, it'll be much more helpful for you to take that knowledge and use it for things that you yourself are trying to create. Having these conversations with managers or leaders used to be pretty impossible to do in the past. I mean, if you were thinking back 10, 20, 40 years ago, we used to all work inside very strict corporate hierarchy filled with bureaucracy, and these managers, these leaders, the people at the top of the company, they wouldn't be willing to share any information. In fact, if you were to ask them anything, they would probably laugh you out of the room. But in the business world, we're seeing a big shift towards more openness, transparency, collaboration, communication. And this means that a lot of executives, a lot of managers and companies are more willing to share, more willing to open up. And this is a big change that we're starting to see in the corporate world. And so I really want to encourage you to really grab onto that change with both hands. Take advantage of this shift towards being more transparent that the business world is starting to see. And so now, if you want to have conversations with managers and executives at your company, a lot of organizations are actually saying, great, we would love you to do that. A lot of employees are actually still a bit scared and skittish and not wanting to have these conversations or to approach their managers or leaders. But if you can do it, you'll be one step ahead of everybody else. So really, take advantage of the leaders inside of your organization, especially because of this big shift to transparency and because we're starting to see a shift in what the role of the manager even is. Managers are now focusing much more on serving the employees, and one of the best ways that managers can serve you is by giving you information and helping you and removing roadblocks from the path that will lead you to success. So have those conversations with the managers and the leaders inside of your company. Do your research. Another strategy that you can use to develop that entrepreneurial mindset is to just research some things on your own time. You might be able to watch some YouTube videos. You might be able to participate in some community discussions that might exist. Again, this doesn't mean that you need to spend hours and hours every single day knowing the ins and outs of every aspect of the business, but you can spend a couple of minutes here and there reading about the industry, checking out some relevant news that might be out there. Be aware of the things that are impacting your organization and what the future might actually bring. The next strategy is simply getting involved at work. Participate in focus groups, participate in surveys. If there are beta programs that the company has, take advantage of. Just really be a part of all the different types of resources and groups and organizations and things that your organization has going on. The more ingrained, the more involved with these things that you become, then the more of a deeper understanding that you will have about having a business, dealing with employees, the role of manager, the executives, everything about how a company operates. Redefine failure. Failure tends to have negative connotations, but the strongest entrepreneurs transform failure into something good. Failing means that you tried something that might be a frightening thing to do. Remind yourself of your failure. You can do this on your phone or in a notebook. Keep count of your mistakes for a week every day. Respond frankly. Soon, you will find that instead of feeling embarrassed when you talk about your mistakes, you'll be proud to show what you've been trying to do. Face your fears. Many entrepreneurs are terrified of public speaking, disappointment, and humiliation. The best way to chisel away this anxiety is to open yourself to it. Getting refused again and again is going to numb you to any disappointment. Take a public speaking class, anything that will make you feel relaxed in front of an audience. If you wish to develop your listening skills, take an acting or a stand-up comedy lesson. They're both going to push you to face your insecurity and get you used to talking to strangers. Plus, you'll hear about the value of good timing and delivery, the talent that is the secret of sales and everyday life. Lastly, you can participate in industry groups. You can attend conferences. You can go to events. There are all sorts of different organizations and institutions and associations that exist out there that do a really good job of providing guidance and direction and resources for whatever industry you might be a part of. So, if you're in the pharma space, take a look at some of the associations and industries and conferences out there that might exist. If you're in human resources, again, take advantage of some of the great associations or conferences or networking groups that might exist out there. Then you can really learn about how the industry is changing and as a result, how your organization might need to change in the future. It really is true what they say, knowledge is power, and the more knowledge and information you have about the business and how it operates, the better ideas you will be able to come up with for how you can positively impact the organization going forward. And that wraps up the video. Thanks for watching.